it's Melody with Design by Melody here. I've tried a couple different changes with the microphone, so we're going to see if this helps the feedback a little bit. No one's mentioned it, but I've noticed in my recording that I'm hearing feedback, so I'm trying to fix it because it's bugging me. But anyways, to the layout. I'm actually doing the second part of my November 2013 album, and I'm showing you here. I already had the photos laid out, and I had the journaling pre-written. I wrote the journaling down just so I wouldn't forget the story, and I did that pretty much whenever I printed and separated the photos. So I wanted just to have that story down. I have too many photos though, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do additional 12 by 12 layouts or if I wanted to, or really how I wanted to handle it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create these little tabs, and I have 4 photos on the bottom, 2 back to back of course, and I'm going to put a pull tab in between the photos. And since this is the back side of the Project Life divided page protector, I actually had to cut a slit in it. That way you'd be able to pull it out on the back since it's on the bottom row. And so you could see here, and that's what I showed you earlier, is that I just cut a slit there. And I'm using this flare, but I'm actually it's going to take me a minute, and I do something a little bit ridiculous. And I hope I cut it out of the video. So here I did that, and then I actually lost the pen. It flew somewhere in my room, and I still have yet to find it, which is really awful. I mean, it's really bad. But I'm just going to vacuum, and hopefully I'll find it. But anyways, I'll continue to tell you what I'm doing while I'm on the floor looking for this pen. I'm taking these flare, and these are actually actual buttons that my sister had collected a couple years ago, and they're all Christmas related. And so I'm cutting off the button part at the back, and then I'm going to make them into flare. And I am going to put some pretty dimensional adhesive foam dot things on the back of them, and I'm going to put them on the outside of the page protector. Since these are interactive slots, I didn't want to have anything that would kind of prevent the pocket from being pulled open and the pictures being pulled out easily, so that's why I did that. And going back to the tab, I backed it on a piece of blue, just embossed cardstock, since it was a sticker, and that way the back side would be it wouldn't be sticky, and it wouldn't, stick to the page protector, and also just so it's decorative as well. So here's where I actually took the back off of that flare, and then I'm going to do the same to the other one. Now it's going to go at the top of the page protector. This one was a bit more stubborn, and I was smart enough this time to cover it as I was doing it. That way it wouldn't fly across the room. Yeah, so anyways, took me a minute to figure this out, but I got it done. I probably have about 30 of those Christmas related flare, which have definitely come in handy. And you can see this dimensional adhesive is about 1/4 of an inch thick. It's fairly thick, but it's also extremely squishy, so it's not like it sticks up a heck of a lot off my page. So I spend quite a bit of time on these bottom photos, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't really overly embellish this layout too much, but I wanted to make sure that everything was cohesive. These are photos from a Christmas parade. There's going to be a 12 by 12 layout to the right of this in my album that is pictures of Kaylin on Ernest's shoulders as we're watching this parade. This was his first parade he had ever went to, and so it was quite entertaining. He loved the parade, but the marching bands scared him. Being that we live in a city, the parade goes through buildings, and so it can echo really strangely and loudly. So he was only about, 2003. He wasn't quite 3 yet. Hold on. He was turning 3 like the next week. So he was basically 3 years old. And so this was the first parade we'd ever taken him to, and he covered his ears. He was so scared, and then he ended up loving the marching bands. That was his favorite part, and so we ended up recording marching bands. That way he could, look at them later and kind of flip through the phone and continue to look at these pictures. So and listen to the band. So being that we are in North Carolina, it's kind of funny. There are tractors in our parades that are decorated for Christmas, and there's a couple of the photos have some funny, entertaining things. So the one that I just finished had Santa Claus, and that's why I put that ho 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 sticker. And then this one is a tractor that's decorated. and I'm gonna put this tab on this side just like I did the other one. And then on the top left of the screen right now, I do cut this down to cut the people out a little bit. But this is a picture of a big truck. It's kind of souped up, I guess. And sorry, you could see Kalen's transformer appear in the screen there. He wanted me to transform him back to a car. Um, but going back to the truck, so there's this big kind of souped up truck and it's got elves driving it. So it's kind of entertaining. We enjoy living here. I mean, I grew up in North Carolina. Um, I'm not like a real country girl, but I'm not really a city girl either. So, and Raleigh's not really that big of a city. Honestly, Charlotte's bigger. So, but it's just kind of entertaining because our parades include lots of tractors and cars and stuff like that, which I know a lot of parades do, but it's just entertaining to me. So I found these. Well, I didn't really find them. I was given these. I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel long enough to remember back last year, my sister's friend gave me a bunch of scrapbook supplies. She moved to New York from Charlotte and had to significantly downsize her craft supplies. So she gave me a bunch of stuff. I mean, a bunch of stuff, and I really appreciate it. I use it all the time. And these rub-on sheets were in there. And I had stuck it in with my pattern paper, and I have a ton of pattern paper, so I don't always go through it, and I don't always see exactly what's in there. So these rub-ons were in there, and I hadn't used them. So I pulled them out to use here, and I love them. Love them. They're a little bit difficult. You have to, especially, I mean, just like any rub-on, if it's stuck on top of a photo, it will stick. So I learned that a little bit the hard way, but it's okay. So when I was doing this, it's the first time I had used these rub-on sheets, and they're just different fonts, and I have no idea where to get them from. If anybody knows, please let me know because I want to buy more. I tried to Google it, and all I can find is some place that sells them international or overseas, I believe, and I don't know how much they would actually be in US dollars, and I'm a little scared to look at what the shipping price would be. So anyways, if anybody knows where I can get these, please let me know because I think they're the coolest things. So when I did sights up in the top right of this photo, I did it crooked. So I'm regrouping here, covered it up, embellished it a bit, and I'm going to redo it right here in the white space of this photo. And I'm covering up part of my photo, that way it doesn't get, the rest of the rub-on doesn't stick on it. And I'm going to try it again. Again, it's not, this is the first time I've used these, and it's a bit difficult because I haven't quite got it figured out yet. I'm going to end up taping this kind of sheet on top of the photo so it doesn't move, but I don't tape down the photo so the photo itself moves, and it kind of botches my plan a bit, but it gets straight enough, and I'm going to use it. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to put parade sites, and the sheet has some guidelines in between each row, so I'm using those to line up with that little card that I have on top of the photo. And I'm sorry for the camera shaking. Kalen was actually running around my room. Actually, we had some friends over, and him and their little boy were both running around my room, and so they were making laps around me as I was scrapbooking, and it was making my desk shake a bit. And I keep stopping, yelling at him. We're not really yelling at him, but fussing at him to stop running around my table. I have a really big wooden table that has kind of A styled legs, and it's quite dangerous for bare toes. If you're not wearing shoes and you run around it, or you walk a bit quickly or walk a little too close, you will stub your toe, and it makes tears come to your eyes. It hurts so bad. So I don't like it when the kids run around there because I know it hurts. I've done it too many times myself, and I don't want them to have to deal with it. So I fuss at them. Don't run, don't get around away from my table. So that's what I'm doing. I'm fussing at the kids to stop running around my table. I end up moving the desk chair so they can't get around the side. I know that sounds like I'm mean, but I really just don't want them to hurt themselves because it hurts like crap. Like, it's awful. So there we go. Those are those sheets, and I'm thinking to myself, hopefully somebody knows where to get these, because these are the coolest thing. I only have 3 different fonts, but I plan on using them all the time. So I put parade sites is what I put. And I'm going to embellish a bit here. I was looking through, this is all my Christmas related stuff, and I was gonna put kind of a strand of lights at the top, and it really would have been cute if I'd figured out how to do it, but I kind of scrapped that idea, and I go for something a little bit different. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do on the back, but it really needed to be flat. That way, whenever the page is being pulled in and out, then it would still be easy to use. So I end up using this naughty or nice sticker, and that's where I take the flare off and put it on the outside. Alright, so those are those two bottom cards, and they both have tabs on them, so they'll both pull up. And all I did is I took my X-Acto knife and cut along the top of those pockets, but I did not cut through the center kind of seam line, and that keeps the page intact. So these are the top two photos, and this is a picture of Kalen where he's covering up his ears and he's just like terrified, like, I have no idea what this is, I don't know what's going on. And then the marching band is to the left, and that's what's marching by us at this time. It was the drums, because when you're in between buildings and there's drums, I mean, it basically makes you vibrate, like you feel like your heart's vibrating, so, or your body's vibrating, so that's what's going on. And so I'm putting a small word right under this sticker, and I so don't remember what it was. Oh, I put full of smiles, maybe, and then I put ... And then I put that right on top of the picture, since that's where he was scared. And then I'm going to put this kind of tag that says favorites, because it ended up being his favorite, and I'm going to put a little enamel dot over the whole. Using a lot of my Christmas related things, even though this is a November layout, it's the Christmas parade, and it's it's at the very end of November, and it's a good segue into my December photos. And I was just showing you a quick thing. I finished the enamel dots. Those were the last two that were on that one, so I was mentally cheering myself. I love having stuff in my stash, but I also want to make sure that I don't just have things hanging around and forget to use them. So when I have one or two of something left over, I like to try to use it up. That way I don't forget about it, and it doesn't just sit there forever. And so since this is the marching band, I'm going to add another flare, and it says Feliz Navidad. I have no idea if that's what they were playing, but a lot of times that's some of the things that are played in a Christmas parade whenever the marching bands are going through. So I keep feeling like I want to add something else here, so I'm going through my stash, trying to figure, or not my stash, the kit that I pulled out for this, just trying to see what else I want to add. And I want to cover up this kind of, I think it was the corner of a building that was in this photo. It's just a little distracting to me. It's because it's just a dark spot in the bottom of this photo. So I'm making a couple banners here, and I'm going to cover it up. What I've done, I did use my, July stash kit for this. This is the last layout I did with my July kit. But I had added my folder of all my Christmas related things to this kit, and I'm going to carry this same folder of Christmas related things over to my August kit. I keep all of my holiday themed things in one envelope. So I have all my Christmas in one, I have all my Halloween in another, and then I have a little baggie that I've started with all my Thanksgiving things. I don't really have many Thanksgiving things, but I have a few brads and a few what do I have in there? A few flare, and so I'm just in a few Project Life cards. So I'm starting to stick all of those just in that envelope, or that baggie, and then as soon as I have enough to put into an envelope, I will. I know it's kind of interesting that I have a lot of Halloween related things, but I think they're so cute. When Archivers was here, I could not resist buying the Doodlebug Design holiday or Halloween things, because they're just so stinking cute. I wish they were still here, because honestly, if I had realized how much I would miss Archivers, I probably would have bought everything in that store if I could have. Which is kind of sad, but it's reality for me. Really, though, if anybody knows where those rub-ons are, or where I can get something like that, please let me know, because those are perfect for subtitles. I mean, perfect. And they're easy to use in store, honestly. These are probably years old, and they really weren't difficult to rub off or anything, so I would love someone to enlighten me of where these possibly are. I apologize for kind of the dead space in the video. It just gives me a chance more to talk. But I was watching the kids play as they were doing this, or as I was doing this, so I'm kind of going back and forth to make sure, you know, everybody's still okay, make sure there's nothing bad going on, make sure everybody's taken care of. I mean, Ernest was here, and so were the mom and dad of the other little boy, but you know, it's my house. I want to make sure everything's okay. I mean, it's just my responsibility. So I'm pulling out my glossy accent. No, Crystal Effects. Yes, there we go. Because it's Stamp It Up brand. And I'm going to put my enamel dots on with this. And these are the ones that I made. And I actually went out and purchased another kind of mixed bag kit of the perler beads, so hopefully I'll be making more soon. I know it was a fad for a while, but I really use these all the time, so I'm going to continue to melt my own and use them. It takes a little bit of time investment at first, but honestly it's so much worth the savings. Let's see. I have it right here. Let's see. I just bought a pack of, how many are in here? I have no idea. Oh, 4,000 perler beads, and these are the ones that are divided by color, so I don't have to do all the sorting, which makes it easy for me. And there are 16 different colors. Some of them I already have white, and actually that's the only one I already have. So there's a bunch of different colors in here. There's 16 different colors, like I said, and there are 4,000 total beads, and I paid $5.50 for this, so it's totally worth it. I would be buying one pack of enamel dots for basically that same price, or a little bit less. The enamel dots aren't quite $5.50, but sometimes it feels like that. And I'm getting so many more with just a little bit of effort as far as melting, but I can do that, you know, on a day where I'm cleaning the house or washing laundry or something. It's really not that big of a deal. So I'm going to continue doing that. I don't know how many people actually still do that, but I use mine, so I'm going to continue to do that. And you're going to continue to see them in my videos because I'm all about savings, but also being able to use supplies that I like. And for me, enamel dots are things that I like, but I just don't like paying for them. So back to the layout here. I'm going to trimming down this photo of that truck I mentioned earlier. And then I'm putting that photo that's the third one in the middle row, it's actually going to end up on the 12 by 12 layout as well in the 4 by 6 size. So you're going to see that again. But it's really related to the story that I'm journaling, so I wanted to include it in both pages. And there were too many distracting people in that one photo with the truck, and it was so little that I just cut it out. I'm going to look at all my different alphas here, and these are the alphas that I cut apart. I mentioned this in my haul video, which will be coming up. When is my haul video? Oh, my haul video should already be posted, actually. It should have went up on August 2nd, so go back and check that out if you'd like to see how I cut apart these alphas. These are some Lily Bee design ones where it has like 8 different colors, I think, on one. Like on one sheet, you know, and I cut them apart that way I can just have each color on its separate little thing. And then I do the same thing with like the fancy pants sheets and all of that. I cut them apart because whenever I make my own stash kits, I don't want a full 12 by 12 sheet in there if there's only one color alpha on there that applies. So that's what I'm doing. And it makes it a lot easier to manage with this little sheet versus, you know, a big sheet. And this is probably about maybe 3 by 6 inches. It's about the size of this. And then I'm going to so what I put is an Elf's Cool Ride is what I put. Because it was like a souped up truck. And so you can see I'm just showing all the different ones here. They're all different sizes, of course, but they're all small and it's a lot easier to use. Alright, and I'm actually almost done with this other enamel dot sheet too. It only had green ones left. I really don't scrapbook with green very often, but it's perfect for Christmas colors. And so I'd stuck them with my Christmas stuff. I have these little word stickers that I'm using a lot. They were cut off the side of an alpha sheet. And so I have them to use up in here because the alphas were blues and reds and all of that, and they're not necessarily just Christmas, so I don't keep them with my Christmas stuff, but I did cut off the words so it can go in my Christmas stuff. All right, and I am almost done. I have 2 pockets left. I'm going to make this one a little bit of a filler card by using these stickers. I'm going to put a tree here. I like the other tree better. And I want to put a few stars and then a few enamel dots as well. And it's just kind of a filler card. I liked the stickers. And I'm going to put my journaling here, and I'm going to rewrite it. And I've got all my journaling papers. And I'm using this grid. I'm just going to cut it. It's pretty easy to cut since it has lines on there, of course. And then I'm going to journal on top of that. And this is pretty much going to finish out the layout. I'll show you still shots of everything here shortly at the end. So definitely, if you give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and also subscribe so you can see all the other videos that I have coming up, I appreciate it. I have been extremely inspired this weekend. I have about 4 videos that I need to edit and do the voice recording for. But I think I've done like a total of 6 videos this weekend, which is a bit crazy. I'm already working with my August kit now. I just haven't finished posting all the July stuff, and this is the very last July video that just hasn't went up yet. So stay tuned, because after this layout, you're going to see my August stash kit, and then you're going to start seeing the layouts that go with my August kit. I've already completed 3 with my August kit. So I have lots of videos up for you. I have videos already scheduled through about August 16th. So heads up, there's stuff coming. So thanks for sticking with me, you guys. I really appreciate the support. It's really motivating to be able to know that people are also enjoying what you have to contribute. And I don't know if you guys get the same way, but I get in ruts. And whenever I get in a rut, I like to be able to see what other people are creating. And then it's also helpful just as a YouTuber to know that people are enjoying what you post, so which is quite motivating as well. So anyways, thank you all. I appreciate you for subscribing and watching. And again, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. All right, thank you. Bye.